Welcome, friends and family. Dick and Sharon back together with you, this time talking about our Hollywood progressive. Uh, a couple nights ago, we saw an unusual play for us called The Great Lover, written by Alexandre Dumas, a French African writer, famous writer in the mid 19th century. We saw it at the Robey Theatre downtown on Spring Street. What did you think?
Well, I generally don't like stories about lovers. I remember when Bridges of Madison County came out like 25, 30 years ago, and everyone was raving about the book. I did go see the movie because Meryl Streep was in it, and I really like Meryl Streep. And I used to really like Clint Eastwood. I loved the musical, all of the music in Bridges of Madison County, but the story sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about these lovers, and I never have. I'm more interested in, I don't like to read fiction. I'm interested in social justice oriented plays. So anything in the arts having to do with social justice and democracy. I was telling you as we went down to the theater, you picked it, and I support you and do what you generally wear joined at the hip. But I also support the Robey Theatre. The Robey Theatre is named the Robey Theatre after Paul Robeson. So I try to go to all of the plays that are put on by the Robey Theatre under the great leadership of Ben Guillory. I definitely support what they do. Did not expect to like this. Loved it. And I loved it for one reason and one reason alone, the performances. I'll let you get in here and say something. The
Yeah, okay.
performance blew me away. Go ahead,
So,
sweetheart.
so in defense of my choice, I mean, I have the similar taste in plays that Sharon does. I like political plays. I like contemporary plays, plays about social action and so forth, which is typically what we see and report on. I thought this one would be appropriate because Alexander Dumas is a black writer, African, and I knew the cast would be mostly and in actually all black. I knew that we particularly liked one of the actors who we've seen several times, Julio Hansen, and I just thought that this would we could see beyond the colorful costumes and enjoy this. And to my surprise, you did.
I did, and I didn't even fall asleep.
Right.
So, and that was 100% due to the level of professionalism,
Wonderful.
the ability of these actors to take on the persona of the
Right.
characters.
Right.
I'm just going to talk briefly about the four lead actors who really kept me at the edge of my seat and made me even interested in the story.
Right.
So it begins with Tiffany Cody Goins, and forgive me, Ms. Cody Goins, if I have mispronounced your name. She's a beautiful woman, um, lovely in every way, except that the character that she plays is a real piece of work. And she played her to perfection. I just couldn't wait for her to get caught up in her shenanigans. And I generally don't care about that. But she just was so effective at getting me emotionally involved with this woman and her impact on the other characters. So true to life. It's like we've all known somebody like that.
I can break in with the basic plot. So one of the main character, the main man character, the Duke de Richelieu, played by Julio Hansen, is a cocky guy, a womanizer who makes a bet with a bunch of his fellow nobles that he can seduce the first pretty woman that comes down the track. And so the play goes about how he attempts to do that and how the character you talked about kind of subverts his plan.
Yes, yes. And we won't give you any more. We encourage you to go to the Robey Theatre, which is held at the LA Center Theater on Spring Street in downtown Los Angeles. So of course, Julio Hansen, as you know, we've spoken about Julio Hansen. We've seen Julio in several other plays. The character or the real life person that Julio is able to channel. I will call it channeling.
Right, right.
He performs James Baldwin like
Uh,
none other.
right.
He becomes James Baldwin. Well, he wasn't James Baldwin in The Great Lover by
Right.
Alexandre Dumas. He was this, what was his role? Was he, I
Duke
can't,
de Richelieu.
Duke de Richelieu. Oh my gosh. He encompassed everything that an elite, class-oriented society where this person, he has a title, and these titles are very important, and he behaves that way. But his ability to take on that character, it was just so realistic. And again, I was completely engaged in something that I generally don't like.
So we interviewed Julio, and maybe I'll plant that video in this review. And Julio is going to come to our Left Coast Forum next Saturday,
Right.
October 25th, and he's going to participate in our friend Ed Rampell's 2 hour long The Progressive Impact of Theater with a bunch of people uh, deeply enmeshed in LA's theater center. And Sharon's hope, or our hope, is that Julio will take a few minutes and become uh,
James Baldwin.
Jimmy Baldwin for a few minutes. He's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And so another person who, one of the four top, was CJ Abalom. Now, CJ is a young woman. I don't really know how young, but she appears in her appearance. She appears very, very junior, not a child, but a young woman, very beautiful, very doe-eyed and innocent. She plays that to the hilt. I don't know her at all. I don't know what her personal life is like, but she just comes across as a gentle, naive, caring person. And you automatically care about this role, the role that she's playing. You automatically care about the woman that she's playing, who is getting ensnared in the actions of Tiffany Cody Goines' character.
Right. So you might know Alexandre Dumas from his fiction, his books, The Three Musketeers, The Man in the Iron Mask, The Count of Monte Cristo, to give you a sense of the kind of things that he's interested in.
Yeah, yeah. And then the fourth actor, Jason Mims, he conveyed such intensity.
Right.
But, I mean, right? Couldn't you just see it in his face?
Right.
It's almost like he really believed everything he was saying, which included, I don't think I'm giving away too much, but included his commitment to commit suicide.
Right. 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 Right.
Myself saying, no, don't do it, don't do it.
So we mentioned that this happens in the Robey Theatre, which Ben Guillory directs, and he was there and he introduces the play. The Robey Theatre is in the LA Theater Center, which is just a wonderful place to see plays. They have a complex of theaters. I think maybe
Like four, yeah.
four theaters. We saw another play there earlier, the Mayor of Norwalk, that we'll talk about later. Um, I hope that they make it. I mean, that started in 1985. It's going, but it's a big building that must be expensive to run. I hope it continues, and I especially hope the Robey Theatre comes, because that is specifically directed toward Black theater. And it's a marvelous place to see a play, a wonderful little stage that's kind of different than most, and we love going down there.
Right, right. And I don't have any inside knowledge here, but I will say that the anti-DEI sentiment that's coming from this administration is impacting all kinds of nonprofits.
Right,
It's also impacting the arts.
right.
And so we want to encourage people, if you care about diversity, if you care about quality of theater, you should go to all of these plays that you can go to and donate if you can.
Right. Okay. I think we're good. I think that's a wrap. We'll talk about the mayor of Norwalk next time we're up.
That's right. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for sticking around. If you like the LA Progressive content and the discussions we have here, please consider clicking the subscribe button below and also give us a thumbs up. That helps to grow our audience by feeding the algorithm, which helps to get this content in front of more eyes. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate your support.